The footage seen on this body camera looks like a typical domestic call that police might attend. But the significance of this footage and of the person involved would make national news. It would also cause the health system to come under some intense scrutiny. We would like to send our condolences to the family and loved ones of George Gonzalez, Justin Hicks, and Amber Hicks. This house on Verbena Drive in the city of Acworth had become the dream home of Phillip Brent and Eliza Wells. The couple, both aged 23, purchased the property in 2019. Acworth is an upmarket neighborhood of beautiful houses and manicured landscapes. It was the perfect place for the couple to begin a new life together. After only a few months of living on the property, however, the couple began to receive some unusual mail. Hand-delivered letters arrived in their mailbox containing explicit images. The images were accompanied by messages written by a Sharpie, none of which made any sense to the couple. Assuming it was a prank, they ignored the unsettling mail. That is, until a letter arrived showing a female in a suggestive pose wearing a tiara, and along with the mail came a plastic tiara. Phillip and Eliza now decided to go to the police with their concerns. Police would then advise them to install some security cameras to capture the person who was delivering the mail. The couple took the advice and had cameras installed in and around their property. In mid-2020, Phillip found a juice bottle with a cigarette in it sitting up against his garage door. When he looked back on the footage, he could see a man walk up his driveway and leave the item. He recognized the man instantly. It was an individual who lived behind his property. This man would turn out to be 27-year-old Matthew Lanz. Phillip was confused, as they had never spoken a word to one another, but he would often see him sitting on his porch smoking cigarettes when they drove by. Austin lived in the house on Delphinium Boulevard with his parents and several siblings, sharing a back fence with Phillip and Eliza. His father was a successful executive at a construction company, and Austin worked with his father. He had tried to join the Marines in 2012, but was administratively separated less than a month later and never earned the title Marine. Phillip and Eliza had already suspected Austin, as every time they passed by, he would give the couple a creepy stare, like he was looking through them, and also wave at them. Austin was warned by police to stop what he was doing and stay away from the property. They later observed Austin standing at the window of his house, peering into the bathroom trying to watch Eliza as she showered. The couple now decided to get a restraining order, as they felt Austin's behavior was becoming weird and somewhat obsessive. They were denied the order, saying there wasn't enough reason to grant one. All of this took a strain on the couple, and they ended up breaking up by October in 2020. Eliza had moved out of the house, but Phillip continued to live there. Strangely, the explicit images and bizarre items continued to show up on the property. On the 18th of April, Phillip awoke to an alert on his phone. Austin was taping a large cardboard sign to his front door. On the cardboard was written, "I'm done wondering for real, what is the point of that?" Phillip again contacted the police, and Matthew Lanz was now issued with a trespass warning. Phillip had decided to move to his sister's house for a while to see if things would calm down. As it turned out, this decision may have just saved his life. On April 24th at 4 a.m., only 6 days after the last event, Phillip again received a notification on his phone. When he brought up the live surveillance footage on his phone, his whole body went numb. There on his phone, he observed Austin wearing a mask and roaming through his house. He had smashed through his back door with a sledgehammer and was armed with a crowbar and gun. He roamed from room to room, turning on the lights, even pulling back the bedsheets in Phillip's room, appearing to look for him. Austin was promptly arrested and charged with burglary and trespassing. Austin had argued that he hadn't taken anything and that planes were constantly flying over his neighborhood and his phone was being tracked. Police began to understand that Austin had a warped sense of reality and was likely suffering from a mental illness. After only a few weeks in jail, Austin was allowed to walk free from jail on a $30,000 bond and ordered to take a mental health and substance abuse evaluation within 30 days of his release. Austin would agree to the terms, but as fate would have it, he would be long dead before those 30 days would arrive. On August 3, 2021, Austin caught a bus to the Pentagon. After stepping off the bus, he would casually walk toward an officer stationed around a metro bus station outside of the Pentagon. Without any warning, he pulled a knife and stabbed the officer in the neck before grabbing his gun and fatally shooting him. Lanz would then turn the gun on himself, but failed to do the job. Responding officers would then confront and ultimately shoot Lanz, who was pronounced deceased at the scene. The officer that was targeted by Austin was George Gonzalez, a decorated war veteran. Authorities said that Austin's motive was likely stemming from mental health challenges and a desire to take revenge on the US military who had foiled his aspirations to become a Marine. It is also likely that he fostered hostilities towards the US authorities as a whole. For the families of the officer and for the other people who had experienced torment at the hands of Austin Lanz, there were more questions than answers. The Lanz family issued a statement offering their heartfelt condolences to the family of George Gonzalez, saying that they were sorry and heartbroken. They claimed Austin had been overcome by mental health challenges in recent months and had several hospital stays and numerous mental health evaluations, yet had been unable to get the help he so desperately needed. While most people couldn't make sense of the situation, Austin's death had closed a chapter that many would like to forget. Or had it? On the 18th of November 2021, police were sent to conduct a welfare check on an all-too-familiar house on Verbena Drive, Acworth. As the police checked the residence, they came across a terrible discovery. The body of a young woman was located, with gunshot wounds to her leg, wrists, and face. A man's body was also lying on the floor next to her, with apparent gunshot wounds to the head, shoulder, and torso. This house was well known to the police, as it had been targeted by Austin Lanz, but he had since been killed in a terrible outcome at the Pentagon. Was this just a bad case of coincidence? The property had been sold by Phillip Brent on August 31, 2021, and was purchased by the couple Justin Hicks and Amber Hicks. The couple, both 31 years old, moved into the property with their 2-year-old son Jacob. Justin Hicks was a veteran firefighter, and Amber had studied sports medicine and was working as an audiology assistant at a hearing aid center. This was the couple's first home together, and they couldn't be more excited to raise their family here. They had even thanked the real estate agent on social media for recommending the property. On November 7th, 2021, Amber would make her last ever post of Facebook, declaring her love for her husband. At 8 p.m., Austin Lanz's younger brother Matthew Lanz would travel from Athens, Georgia, where he was a student, to the home in Acworth, now occupied by the Hicks family. In his possession, he would have a tactical backpack, a gun, a knife, ammunition, and a flashlight with a spiked cap designed to break glass. He would arrive at 9 p.m. and enter the home. Matthew would find Justin and Amber watching TV on the couch. As Justin got up off the couch, he would shoot him dead. He would then turn the gun towards Amber and shoot her while still sitting on the couch. 2-year-old Jacob would be left alone in his crib, crying for his parents' attention, while Matthew slipped away and returned to his apartment in Athens. When Jacob failed to arrive for preschool the next day, Amber's mother requested a welfare check. This is when police would come across the bodies of Justin and Amber, finding Jacob in his cot, having had no food or water for hours. Police and the public could not make sense of the situation. The man that had previously terrorized this residence was dead, so how could this possibly have happened? While detectives were sifting through the evidence, a 911 call came in from a home on Cameron Ridge Drive in Fulton County, Georgia, after residents reported an intruder. Officers just happened to be in the area, and when they arrived, the residents claimed the man was still upstairs.
You know this guy? Not at all. Okay. Go upstairs. I told him not to go upstairs and he just went upstairs. Okay. Has he got any weapons or anything?
Hey, it's the police department. Come on down. What's your name? Your house is next door. It's not this one. It is. It's next door, man. This is the residence of... What's that? No, man. Not if you come out right now and talk to us.
That's what I'm afraid of. Is that it would be twisted?
No, we're not going to twist anything like that, you know?
Next door, you said?
Yeah. You got close, but not close enough, you know? Come down right now. We'll go next door with you if you want.
Officers attempted to negotiate with the man, who had not been seen up until this point. He would eventually make his way down toward the officers.
Come on down, man. Come on down.
Without any warning, Matthew Lanz lunged at the officer with a knife, inflicting 6 potentially fatal wounds. Officers were caught off guard and eventually detained him, but not before having to use pepper spray, a taser, and having to shoot Matthew. The officer was extremely lucky to survive, having suffered wounds that just missed his spine and a carotid artery. He would eventually make a full recovery. Matthew Lanz was also taken to the hospital and recovered from his wounds. Police officers soon realized that this was the brother of Austin Lanz, who had recently taken the life of another officer. Had they have known any of this, they may have treated the situation differently. Investigators had gained access to the CCTV footage around the Hicks property. Matthew Lanz was observed around the property at the time of the murders, wearing a gray hoodie. Police would also conduct a search of his property and find the exact same gray hoodie observed on the footage in the washing machine. They would also come across ammunition and shell casings, along with the gun that matched the bullets left in the victims at the scene. In February of 2022, a Cobb County grand jury indicted Matthew Lanz in the murder of Justin and Amber Hicks. He would also be charged with many other counts, including 1 count of second-degree cruelty to children for leaving a young child alone with his murdered parents. Matthew is currently being kept without bail in Fulton County Jail. Lanz's arraignment was initially scheduled for October 4th, 2022, but was rescheduled due to a conflict. It was then rescheduled for January 9th, 2023, but then rescheduled again without reason. It has now been 9 months since then, with no further word from prosecutors on when Matthew Lanz will be brought to justice. Georgia is a state that does have the death penalty, and it is likely that this is what he will receive. As soon as any news comes to hand, we will update our comment below. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the case and what you think Matthew Lanz deserves. And that wraps up today's case. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then check out one of these 2 other videos on screen that you may find interesting. We look forward to bringing you another worst case very soon.